Severino was he leaned on the fastball against Milwaukee, and he leaned on the fastball a year. Is it a matter of letting a guy, game planning for a guy with what he feels best with? How much do you weigh that versus what the other team does really well? And how likely is it that he really steps into a different strategy today against this lineup?
Yeah, you got to stick to your strength, and whether it's his fastball, the two-seam, the four-seam. The biggest thing is he's got to get ahead. He's got to stay on the attack. This is going to be an aggressive team, and they're going to attack them. So I think he's not only have to have a really good game plan, but he's got to go out there and execute. He's got weapons, but I think he's just not only going out there and executing his game plan, but having the ability to make adjustments as the game goes on too.
Next question. We're going to go to Howard in the second row here.
Hi, Mendy. The top of this Phillies lineup, you got Schwarber lefty, Trey Turner, and then Bryce is a lefty. But Schwarber has hit lefties particularly well this year, and I just wonder, as you sort of game plan later in games, has it changed the way you think it's necessary, helpful to have a lefty for that particular 1, 2, 3 of the Phillies?
Yeah, I think they're both been really good against lefties this year. But I think it's just where you are in the game, whether you're up, you're down, how many runs, where's the damage against a lefty versus against the righty, and not only a righty, but who's that righty that you got available. So those are some of the things that we go through it before we make those decisions. Look, they're really good hitters, so whether you throw a righty, whether you throw a lefty, I think you just got to go with what you feel is the best matchup, regardless left or right. It's just, and where you are in the game as far as like score and there's a lot of things, but they're really good hitters.
I mean, just from your side, same day after the game, any reports next day of how he's doing, and is he lined up as necessary for you guys?
Yeah. We got to wait, not only today, but tomorrow we'll have a better idea and see where we are. And hopefully he continues to feel good and he continues to be a player for us moving forward. But it was a good sign last night. I haven't seen him today. And again, I think we just got to wait not only today, but get through tomorrow after he plays catch, and we'll have a better idea.
Next question. Nothing? We good? You good? Thanks, Carlos. Okay. First one over here on the right-hand side.
Harrison, you've played for a lot of managers. What does Carlos Mendoza do so well to create an environment where most guys feel that they can thrive?
The number one job of a manager's, duties every day is just to manage his players, understand their personalities, understand, maybe when to chime in and talk to them, when to pull them aside, when to pump them up. All these things kind of play into that role. I just think he just does a good job of observing that. He's very communicative with us. And especially down the stretch here these last 2 weeks, identifying roles and keeping our minds ready for whatever might be thrown our way. I think he's just done a very good job of doing that. So, listen, with regards to that, he's kept it very, very calm, very tame, not making the situation more than what it is, and just laying out how he envisions these things going. And if we have to adjust, he does so accordingly. But I just think he does a very good job of just playing the game situation out for the players, and as it presents itself, we calmly take it from there.
Howard.
You've worn the dog tags on behalf of the hostages in Gaza and Jewish Star on your belt, and a lot of Jewish fans have responded to it. Obviously, we're coming up on a year of October 7th. I'm wondering if you've taken time to reflect on, not only your actions, what they've meant to Jewish fans, but, interactions you've had over this last year.
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate you mentioning that for sure. I've done my best to just play baseball, keep to myself. Especially anything related to my, my beliefs, if you will, off the field. I've just shown up every day with one intention, that's playing baseball. But, I think it is just important, regardless of whatever might be going on as it relates to Israel and Jewish families and and everybody involved in the situation. I think it's just important to just be grateful for every single day as it does come. Regardless of your religious beliefs or anything off the field, as it is for me. I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I've definitely welcomed a lot more love and gratitude into my life as a result of just listening to countless stories and experiences. So, and that goes for both sides, involved here. And I really do want to keep it just related to baseball. But again, I will just say that I think it's important to just be grateful for every opportunity. And this has been an absolute blessing to be a part of this team, to be given an opportunity as a free agent this offseason. I never imagined I would have as much fun as I have this year. So again, I just think it's important to, again, just be grateful and just take things as they come, because you just never know how they might change up. So I'm just excited for the opportunity.
Okay, we're going to go over there to Dave Lennon in the back and left.
Harrison, I know the starting pitchers have a lot to do with the fact that you guys have got started with a lot of late rallies, but the pitchers that come after those starting pitchers are really good too, out of the bullpen. Can you pin anything on why you guys have been that good late? That's something about what you guys have done, whether your attack, anything that you could point to, maybe?
Yeah, I think why we kind of got what we got going on is that no one's tried to define it, and I think that's important. I think a lot of that's the need to find an answer or to pinpoint something is it's wasted energy. I think in those game situations where it matters most, there's just a narrowed focus when things kind of go down for us from a pitching standpoint or even on defense. And when you have teams that are get punched and then you narrow your focus to do your best to prevent it from happening further, I think that's when you kind of enter that territory of really being dangerous and being able to just sway the momentum in your favor. And we saw it yesterday, obviously. Senga gave up the home run, and then he shifted his plan, which was evident of how he kind of attacked hitters from that point on, and he was successful. And I think sometimes you need to get punched in the face a little bit to narrow your focus. I mean, I think in an ideal situation he wouldn't have wanted to give up a home run, but in many ways maybe he's happy it happened. And I think that's the point, right? Is entering these games with all the noise and whatever's going on behind the scenes. You never know what in the game might end up being something helpful for you, and just attacking it as it comes and remaining present, I think, is what allows players to just go out there and just play free, regardless of whatever pressure people might say there's out there. So I think we've gone through a lot as a team for the past 2 weeks, and there's not a single guy that's complained about anything. We're actually having the most fun we've ever had for traveling on 2 weeks on the road, and I think I think we love it. It's a traveling circus, if you will. So we just take the game situations as they come, and zoom in our focus even more, and stay together in that dugout. And yeah, listen, it's been fun.
Okay, over here on the left.
You had a really good, a really impressive postseason a couple of years back with the Yankees. What can you take from that experience, or what have you taken from that experience and brought it here with the Mets?
Yeah, it was a new environment for me. I was fresh off of like a 7 or 8 week stint in a boot where I was thrown into a clubhouse with guys who maybe have heard about me or just seen me around the league, but their first glimpse of me was walking into a locker room in a boot from the trade deadline, and there's probably a massive question mark, over my head as to why maybe we acquired this guy and this and that, and I think the biggest thing was I didn't really know what the future was going to look like for me there, but I knew that Brian Cashman said whenever you're ready, we have all the confidence in the world in you to go out there and play your game. And once I was out of that boot, in many ways I felt free, and I felt like I had nothing to lose, and all I wanted to do was help the team win. And I've said it before, and I've listened to a lot of really good players that I respect around the league say that when you play for something bigger than yourself, all the pressure, all of the expectations, all of the whatever else can prevent you from succeeding, all those go out the window because it's bigger than you. And fully buying into that was what I did, and got an opportunity to obviously play in the playoffs there, and was just free, was calm, and just trying to help my team win. And I think there's a big learning lesson in there, and I think it's important to take that same approach away from the postseason. You know, you should always be playing for the team. You should always be playing for something bigger than yourself. Because, listen, it is very hard. Those guys on the other side, regardless of the organization or the situation, they are extremely talented and they have a lot of information. And the best way to kind of deal with that at times is to just be free from it all. Prepare, of course, and do what you have to do to be successful from a physical and mental standpoint. But be free of it all once the game starts. And I think there's a lot of power in being free. And I think the postseason presents players with the opportunity to do just that, which is to be free, to play for something bigger than themselves, to celebrate everything as it comes, you know, with respect and within reason. But, you know, when you really do feel like you're helping a bigger entity, if you will, you know, it builds you up and anything is possible. And we've seen tremendous performances in all sports across the years that we've, you know, used sports as entertainment of heroism, if you will, and, you know, big moments where players separate themselves because I think, you know, they're just free and they just want to do well for the team. So that's why, you know, that's why we love the postseason. That's why I think it's a great opportunity for teams and individuals to do well. And yeah, just taking that same approach and channeling that, I think is what I've kind of, you know, it's what I've done since we, you know, since we made it in Atlanta. So I'm excited and we'll see, you know, how it shakes out today.
Okay, we're going to go here on the right to Abby.
Sort of following up on that, was there anything specific at the plate other than just, you know, having that approach, but was there anything at the plate that really worked for you during that Yankees run?
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, as important as it is to swing at good pitches, you know, it's also equally as important to not swing at, you know, certain pitches. And I think I just had a good approach of taking what, you know, like physically taking the pitches that I couldn't really do much with and just kind of sitting in the pocket in the at-bat. Then, you know, obviously delivering on pitches where they kind of were left over the middle of the plate. So I think that's what this is about, right? Is just kind of, you know, playing the game situation. You know, obviously hitters have more success when the ball catches more of the middle of the plate. So, you know, that might come 0-0, that might come 3-2, that might come in the 8th pitch of the at-bat. I'm not really sure, but just preparing your mind and preparing your body for when that opportunity comes, I think is what's most important. And, you know, truly the biggest thing is just to breathe, you know, just to relax. You know, we're just two adults up there. It's obviously the pitcher versus the catcher, and, you know, everybody feels pressure, but I think it's the ability of one of the two, if you will, to slow it down even more to where you can find a way to be successful for your team. So, you know, I think if you do that, you're pretty dangerous. And I think, you know, in 2022, I just had the ability to do it then, and let's try to channel that tonight the best we can. Yeah.
Having grown up in New York, with both teams in the playoffs right now and both teams excelling in the playoffs, just what do you think this means to the city? And, you know, obviously I'm guessing you're looking forward to getting back home and seeing the home crowd.
Yeah, you know, we take everything in stride. This team's done a fantastic job of remaining present and reminding every single person to remain present and never to get ahead of yourself, even by one pitch. So yes, I'm certainly looking forward to getting home, but we do have a game here which we're all very much so looking forward to. I think, you know, New York City is home. New York City is a special place for anyone who's from New York City or just has visited. I'm sure there's, you know, this a similar sentiment, if you will. And listen, I think it'd be fantastic for, you know, for New York to continue to see its team win. You know, and I think, yeah, I mean, listen, we got a long way to go. I don't even know. I don't even have a response. I think it'd be nice, but, you know, before we get to that, we got to take care of business. So that's kind of what I got for that.
We'll take one last one over here on the right, Jerry.
That is actually me, part of my question. I guess I'll follow up with, do you have any vague recollections of 2000? I know you're only 6 back then, but any recollections of the Mets-Yankees series in 2000?
Nah. I got nothing.
All right, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
All right.